One of the most amazing things about it has been meeting a bunch of other event professionals, and getting to know them and getting to find out about what they do within the event sector. Some of them we have very different jobs to each other, and that's fantastic to get their perspectives. I think the program that is put on for us allows us to go to things we wouldn't necessarily get to go to at our level or at our age.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another CN conference call. I'm Louisa Daley, a CN reporter, and today I'm joined by CN 30underThirty winner Amelia Brown, who is also the Marketing and Communications Executive at EVCOM. Today we're going to discuss the importance of the awards and share some application top tips. Morning Amelia, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's so nice to see you again. Looking forward to this interview.
Yeah, so am I. Lovely to see you.
So before we talk about the awards, I wanted to understand a little bit more about your career journey and how you kind of entered the industry. So could you tell me about that?
So I came into the events industry more from the theatre side. I was making theatre sort of devised work at the time. I was also working in theatre venues on the sort of front of house side and also on the hospitality side. And I think my first kind of role in that was at the Vault Festival as a festival assistant, so helping with front of house things, managing people around the venue, all of that. And I then went on to work with Underbelly up at the Edinburgh Fringe as a production assistant there. So that was again helping manage all the different performers and the different venues. Underbelly has a huge amount of venues up at the Fringe, and it was then after that I started working at EVCOM. And I was just supposed to be working there with them for 2 months or so on two specific events, sort of our big awards ceremony and our fellowship awards, which happen about 2 weeks out from each other. So I was just brought in to sort of write place cards and send guest lists. And many years later, I'm still here.
Oh, that's a lovely journey to hear about. I think it's really nice to hear that even though you're not technically from an events industry background originally, and you're kind of from theatre, they kind of cross over in some ways and shows that anybody can enter the industry because you've obviously had a wealth of experience, like proper hands-on event production and organising. So that's really good to hear that anybody can essentially do it.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, there's so much crossover between performance and the event sector, and theatre is a live event. So yeah, there's a huge amount of crossover between those sectors, I think.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the awards then. Why do you think these awards, ones that kind of recognise and award young talent, are important?
I think it's brilliant what you guys are doing. I think it's for me, EVCOM is quite a small company, so I think one of the most amazing things about it has been meeting a bunch of other event professionals and getting to know them and getting to find out about what they do within the event sector. Some of them we have very different jobs to each other, and that's fantastic to get their perspectives. I think the program that is put on for us allows us to go to things we wouldn't necessarily get to go to at our level or at our age. So I think it really gives you a seat at the table, having big conversations about sustainability, meeting venues, things like that, that we wouldn't necessarily have access to without a program like this. And I think, yeah, generally at EVCOM, we're very passionate about the idea that working for young people and creating opportunities for young people is what is going to make our industry better and more diverse in the future. And we think there's a huge link between sort of young people and creating a more diverse and inclusive workplace and sector now and into the future. So I think, highlighting young people there is really amazing what you're doing. Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, I definitely agree. I think, the fact that we have a seat at the table is a great thing. So I know that you technically didn't apply for the CN 30underThirty awards and you got nominated, but if you were to give any top tips, what would you say makes a good application? What should they include in the entry?
I think passion is always lovely to see. Everyone enjoys working with people who are passionate, but I think make that passion specific. You know, it's one thing to say I'm passionate about the events industry, but what are you passionate about in it? Is it diversity? Is it sustainability? Is it logistics? Is it creative event design? It's such a wide-ranging industry that I think sort of specifying where your areas of passion are is a really important thing to do. And I also think it's a very people-focused industry. So I think looking at connection and team building and how you work well with people, I think is always going to be an important part of working in this industry.
Lovely. Well, thank you, Amelia, for your time. It was lovely to see you again.
And you, my pleasure.
And thanks for everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more CN30 under 30 interviews.